Labels help you organize your messages into categories. It can be work or family or to do or to read later, any category that you want. And labels do all the work that folders do, both an added bonus. And that is you can add more than one to a message. Only you can see your labels, so whether you mark a message with best friend or read later, the sender will never know. Here's how to create a label that you can add to any of your messages. On the left side of the page, scroll down to the bottom and click More at the bottom of your label list. Then click Create New Label. Type the name of your label, then click Create. Then it's time to apply your label. To apply your label in your inbox, select the checkbox next to the message, then click the Label button, and select the label that you want. If you're actually viewing a message, you can also click and drag the label from the left-hand side and drop it right on top of the message. And that will automatically apply it. I suggest that to create labels, you think of organizing your work life in different categories. So whether it's administration, RTI, SST, team emails, parent emails, student emails, add as many labels as you want. And Gmail will accept a ton of labels. But if you add too many, it might be difficult to start to remember where you put all of your messages and where you can go find those. Another benefit of labels is to use them to create filters. And what a filter does, it will automatically do something to a message when it comes into your inbox. And to create a filter, what you can do is come up to the very top and select the down arrow. And you can start to enter your criteria. So if you want to make it from a certain person, so let's say I want to add all messages from Kate Matthews. I can specify the subject or certain words that it does or doesn't have. If it has an attachment, I can set a date range. And then I'm going to click Create Filter with this search. Now, here's where I can do several things with all the messages from Kate Matthews. I can automatically archive it or mark it as read, apply a star it. Here's where I can choose a label. So let's say every message from her I want to be labeled as Matthews. I would select that. I could forward it, delete it, never send it to spam, send a canned response, always mark it important, never mark it as important, and categorize. And I can also click Also Apply Filter to matching conversations. Now, I've already created this filter. Normally, we just click Create Filter. I'm going to X out because you'll see here all of the messages from Kate Matthews have been labeled with Matthews. Now, what I do is I think of the people who send me important emails. So you might want to think of your administration, your team members, or anybody else who when they send you a message, you know that you're going to want to keep it. And what I do is I create a filter for all of those people and have a label automatically applied to it. I don't do anything else. I don't have it deleted. I don't have it automatically archived. I just have the label applied. So when they send me an email, I can automatically archive it. And then when you come over here to the side where all of your labels are, and I click on, for example, Matthews, every email that Kate has ever sent me is already in that folder. So I apply labels for those types of things. If, for example, you have emails that come in, if you subscribe to a daily, informational brochure or like a quote of the day, you can have those in your search criteria. And when you create a search, oops. you could have those automatically go into a folder and you could read it later. So those are just some options that you have with creating filters. And I'd like for you to create at least one filter. And you can have it do whatever you want. Now you can see all of your filters when you come over to the gear and select settings and then go to filters up here. So these are all of the filters that I have applied to different types of emails. And you can see, like, for example, Ed Helper at Ed Helper News. I was getting those. I don't use Ed Helper anymore. I have it automatically deleted. So I've done this to some things that aren't necessarily classified as spam, but that I don't want to necessarily get. So I have some things automatically deleted. I have some, like if I get something from a principal, I have it automatically labeled with that school's email. If I get something from my higher ups, it's automatically labeled as administrative. So those are just a couple of suggestions to create a filter. Now, when you make your video, this is where I would like you to come to show me that you've created at least one filter, and you're welcome to create more and explain those as you go. There is one more option to easily create a filter. Let's say that I'm going to look at this email here from Clorinda Roach from Griffin Risa. If you have a message and you want to automatically create a filter from a message, you can go up to More and select Filter Messages like these. Then it's going to go ahead and create a filter for you. And you will just go from this point and decide what it is you want to do. So create a filter with a search, the same thing. Let's say I'm going to apply a label and I want to choose a label. I want it to say Risa. And I don't have a label like that. So I can select New Label and make a label right there. So I'm going to hit Create. And automatically that's going to do two things. It's going to label every email that comes from Griffin Risa with the label Risa. I've made a new label. I can also apply that to 5 matching conversations that I already have archived, but I haven't labeled. So I'm going to click Create Filter. And now I have a label for every time I get an email from Griffin Risa. My label is over here. And I can also come in here and I can change the label color. So if I don't want it to be gray, if I want it to stand out and I want to make it pink, I would just select pink and it would change the color. And that's just a nice visual cue. Not all of my labels have color. Some are more important than others. But that's one way that you can also easily create an email label from and a filter from an email that you already have.